Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming out to the Parliamentary Procedure Finals here. We'll get started in just a few minutes after we get our first team through a mic check. Please remain quiet through our competition today. For those of you in the back playing with ropes and cornhole and volleyball or any other things, please move that elsewhere or be quiet, please. Thank you. And silence your cell phones as well. We'll get started here in just a few minutes. Thank you all.
Check, check, check,
check, check, check.
Test. Oh, good morning, Cascade. How are we?
Good, how are you?
Good. We're going to run a great Parley meeting today. Congrats on making it to the final round for state convention this year. You should be very proud. You're going to have a minute to look at your cards. We're going to run a great meeting. I will ask you the questions related to your motions, and then I'll pass the mic to the fellow judges to ask clarifying questions for 3 minutes. Just a reminder, when we debate or make motions, please talk into your microphone so your judges can hear you. And with that, is there any questions?
Nope.
Awesome. Your 1 minute timer starts now.
Is there any new business?
Mr. President,
Trey.
I move to call for the orders of the day, starting at special orders, picking up at the motion from the previous meeting that reads, I move that our chapter establish a mentorship program pairing upperclassmen with first-year FFA members.
Call for the orders. The orders have been called for. The motion postponed at the previous meeting will now be brought back. That motion is that our chapter establish a mentorship program pairing upperclassmen with first-year FFA members. Is there any debate?
Mr. President,
Trey.
I am strongly for this motion. I think that if we pair upperclassmen with younger first-year FFA members, we will be able to make sure that our younger members are fully aware of what is going on in our chapter so that we can have the most successful chapter possible. Therefore, please help me in adopting this motion.
Mr. President,
Bridger.
I rise for this motion. When I was younger, I always learned from the upperclassmen, and I think this would be a great idea for our younger kids to be able to learn and grow with our upperclassmen, vote yes.
Mr. President.
Joel.
I am against this main motion. Seeing that a lot of our upperclassmen are also new to our FFA chapter, they need help getting involved too, and they are just not old enough and experienced enough to help these younger classmen. Vote no on this motion.
Mr. President,
Claire.
I am for this main motion. When it was my first year in FFA, I was very fortunate to have an older sister. She showed me around. However, many members are not this fortunate. It would be a great idea to pair younger members with older members so they can gain the experience necessary. Please help me in passing this motion.
Mr. President,
Aubrey.
I am against this motion. While this could be a great idea for a different chapter, this motion just does not fit with our chapter. As previously stated, we have several new upperclassmen members who just don't know the ropes of FFA yet, and not only, we are also severely outnumbered when it comes to the underclassmen to the upperclassmen. Please vote down on this motion.
Is there any debate? Any amendments? Seeing none, we will now proceed to a vote on the motion that our chapter establishes a mentorship program pairing upperclassmen with first-year FFA members. All those in favor of this motion say aye. Aye. All opposed say no.
No.
Noes have it. Is there any business?
Mr. President,
Bridger.
I move that the chapter purchase a thermal imaging drone and mapping software for member use in SAE crop and livestock monitoring at a cost of $3,200.
It is moved and seconded that the chapter purchases a thermal imaging drone and mapping software for member use in SAE crop and livestock monitoring at a cost of $3,200. Is there any debate?
Mr. President,
Bridger.
I rise for this motion. We live in a very rural area of Montana, and it's very hard to check on our livestock or crops at times, especially in winter when it's very cold. I believe if we have this for our students for their SAEs, it would greatly help them in growing their SAEs. Vote yes.
Point
Mr.
of information,
President.
State your point.
how much money is currently in our FFA chapter budget?
Our FFA chapter budget is currently at $7,200.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Trey.
I'm strongly for this motion. I think that this fund, or the ability to buy a thermal imaging drone, is fully capable for our chapter. I think that buying a thermal imagery drone will really help to move our members forward when working in our SAE projects. We have many people in livestock and crop-related SAEs, and I think this would help them in their project. Please help me in passing this motion.
Mr. President,
Claire.
although I would like to support this motion, I cannot. Seeing as we are only buying one drone, it is not cost efficient considering we have several members in this SAE. This doesn't give every member the opportunity to use this drone. Please help me in failing this motion.
Mr. President,
Joel.
I am against this main motion. We do not currently have enough money in our chapter budget to pay for this. We have many new members that we will be paying for competitions next year, including the cost of nationals for some of our members. Vote no on this motion.
I rise the question of privilege.
State your question.
It is very hot in here. May I take off my jacket?
Seeing as we are in a formal meeting, we may not. I appeal to the decision of the chair. Appeal has been called. Shall we uphold the decision of the chair? All those in favor of upholding the chair's decision, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No.
Ayes have it. Chair's decision upheld. We'll now proceed back to the main motion. Is there any debate?
Mr. President,
Aubrey.
I would like to encourage the Assembly to vote down on this motion. There's just so many other things that our chapter could prioritize this $3,200 on. That's not a drone. We could divvy up the money and split it equally among different types of SAE projects instead of just pouring it all into one type of SAE project. Please vote no on this motion.
Mr. President,
Bridger.
I move to extend the limits of debate to 3 debates per person per motion.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to extend limits of debate to 3 debates per person per motion. Are there any amendments? Seeing none, we will now proceed to a vote. The vote required to pass is a 2/3. We will proceed a rising vote. All those in favor, please rise. Thank you. Be seated. All opposed, please rise. Thank you. Be seated. With 1 in the positive, 4 in the negative. Motion is lost. We shall not extend limits of debate. We'll now proceed back to the main motion. Is there any debate?
Mr. President.
Bridger.
I rise for this motion. We need this thermal imaging drone for our chapter. Without this, our farmers and ranchers that are in our club will not have the the equipment they need to be able to check their cows or map out their fields throughout the year. If we get this, it would greatly improve our SAEs. Vote yes.
Mr. President.
Claire.
Once again, I would like to encourage the Assembly to vote down on this motion. Seeing as $3,200 is a large fraction of our total funds, it is not a good investment. Please help me in failing this motion.
Mr. President,
Aubrey.
I move to suspend the standing chapter rule so that we can use our cell phones during this meeting.
It is moved and seconded to suspend the standing chapter rule so we can use cell phones in a meeting. All those in favor of this motion say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. No. Noes have it. Motion is lost. We shall not suspend the rule. Is there any debate?
Mr. President,
Claire.
I move to postpone this matter indefinitely.
It is moved and seconded to postpone this matter indefinitely. Is there any debate?
Mr. President,
Trey.
I am strongly against this postponement. This motion is necessary to moving forward in our SAEs within our chapter. I think that we should not kill this motion because it puts away opportunities for our members to be successful in their SAEs. Therefore, please help me in failing this postponement.
Mr. President,
Joelle.
I am for this postponement. There are many people in our chapter with this SAE, and buying one drone for a high cost would not be enough to support our chapter with the same SAE. Vote no on this vote yes on this postponement.
Mr. President,
Bridger.
I want to encourage the Assembly to vote no on this postponement. Although $3,200 is very expensive, this is an investment for our chapter that we greatly need. Vote no.
Mr. President,
Aubrey.
I am disapproval of this postponement. We need to make a decision on this motion, whether it is a yes or no. This is a lot of money, and it would make a big difference in the effects of our chapter. Please vote no on this postponement.
Mr. President,
Claire.
please, I would like to encourage the Assembly to help me in passing this postponement. This is a big decision that involves everyone, and it is too much for us to be able to come up with a straight answer right away. Please help me in passing this postponement.
Is there any debate? Seeing none, we'll now proceed to a vote on postponing this matter indefinitely. All those in favor of the postponement say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. No. Noes have it. Motion is lost. Division has been called. We will now proceed to a rising vote. All those in favor of the postponement, please rise. Thank you. Be seated. All opposed, please rise. Thank you. Be seated. With 2 in the positive, 3 in the negative, motion is lost. We shall not postpone this matter. We will now proceed back to the main motion. Is there any debate?
Mr. President,
Trey.
I move that we have a 3-minute recess for informal consultation.
It is moved and seconded that we hold a 3-minute recess for informal consultation. Is there any debate? Are there any amendments? Seeing none, we'll proceed to a vote. All those in favor of the 3-minute recess, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. No. Noes have it. Motion is lost. We shall not hold a 3-minute recess. We will now proceed back to the main motion. Is there any debate?
Mr. President,
Trey.
for my final stance, I'm strongly for this motion. I think that if we purchase this drone for our chapter, we would be able to use it for so many things, including SAEs. Our SAE members will be able to use this to move forward their SAEs, but also our chapter will be able to use it for chapter-related projects. If we need it for a member of the community who needs to use it for something dealing with their animals or crops, or just anybody who could use it for a certain project, I think this is something worth our time and investment. Therefore, please help me in passing this motion.
Mr. President,
Joelle.
as my final stance on this motion, I would like to encourage the Assembly to vote no. $3,200 is a lot of money that takes a lot of work from our chapter to fundraise for this. This would simply take too much time for our chapter. Vote no on this motion.
Mr. President,
Aubrey.
please vote no on this motion. This is just not a worthy investment for our chapter, considering nobody in our chapter has the knowledge of how to work these drones or what would even be the best type of drone or where to get the drone would be. Please vote no on this motion.
Is there any debate? Any amendments? Seeing none, we will now proceed to a vote on the main motion that states that the chapter purchases a thermal imaging drone and mapping software for member use in SAE crop and livestock monitoring at a cost of $3,200. All those in favor of this motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no.
No.
Noes have it. Motion is lost. This main motion is not going to be held.
Mr. President,
Aubrey.
I move to adjourn.
Are there any opposed? Seeing none, meeting adjourned. Please rise for questioning.
To the maker of call for the orders of the day. Name 2 circumstances when a call for the orders of the day is applicable.
2 circumstances where a call for the orders of the day is applicable is during a meeting when there's something on the agenda that we are currently not doing and that a member wants to conform to the agenda and do. And another situation would just be if we haven't started the meeting yet, but we want to make sure that the whole meeting we are conformed to the agenda.
Thank you. To the maker of postpone indefinitely.
Yes, ma'am.
Your question has 2 parts. Your first part, can the motion to postpone indefinitely be reconsidered? Explain your answer.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. Can the motion to postpone indefinitely be reconsidered and explain your answer?
The motion to postpone indefinitely cannot be reconsidered because when you reconsider, you have to be on the prevailing side. If you postpone the matter, it can't be brought back up. It kills the motion. And if you don't postpone the matter, you talk about it here and now.
And your second question is, if a motion to postpone indefinitely is lost, can another motion to postpone indefinitely be made in the same meeting? And explain your answer.
This motion cannot be made in the same meeting because it would have to be, because you can't make the same motion in the same meeting before session renews.
Thank you. To the maker of suspend the rules.
Yes.
Name 4 rules of the assembly that the motion to suspend the rules cannot be applied to.
Suspend the rules cannot be applied to the bylaw rules in the meeting of the chapter.
Thank you. To the maker of limit or extend limits of debate.
Yes, ma'am.
Your question has 2 parts. Your first one, name 2 subsidiary motions that can be applied to a motion to limit debate.
2 subsidiary motions that can be applied to limit debate is previous question and amend.
And your second question, why can previous question be applied to limit or extend limits of debate if limit or extend limits of debate if it is not debatable?
It's because it's amendable.
Thank you. To the maker of division of the assembly.
Yes, ma'am.
Your question also has 2 parts. The first one, a voice vote is being taken which appears to be close, and a member calls for a division of the assembly as soon as the negative votes are cast. Is this division of the assembly in order? And explain your answer.
This division of the assembly is not in order because you have to wait until all of the votes are cast before making the division.
And your second question is, a rising vote is then taken and the secretary counts and records in the minutes the number of votes on both sides of her own accord. Is this proper? And explain your answer.
It is proper because taking a standing vote can be counted or not. It really just depends on the preference of the board and the secretary.
Thank you. And to the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Your part also has 2 questions. Your first one is, why should the chair refrain from speaking in debate on most questions?
The chair should refrain from putting in any opinion, as they are meant to be an unbiased kind of rule holder. They make sure that everything runs smoothly and that the members' rights are respected, and they are only supposed to vote if it is a tie.
And your second question is, name 2 motions on which the presiding officer is not required to relinquish the chair in order to debate.
There are no motions that the chair is able to debate on.
Okay, thank you. We're going to roll into 3 minutes for the judges to ask you questions, and as always, anyone can answer, so I'll pass it over.
I'll start. Anybody can answer this one. There were 3 different non-debatable motions made during that meeting which were seconded and then voted down with only 1 member appearing to vote in favor of the motion. So Could any of the seconders of those motions maybe explain why you're seconding motions that are not debatable if you don't want them to pass?
Although some motions aren't debatable, they still are amendable, so maybe someone wants to amend it and change it to something more to their fit needs.
Adding on to that, they might just want to see, considering the motion, see what the Assembly's opinion is on the motion, not specifically wanting to adopt the specific motion.
Great job, guys. What are the standard limits for debate?
2 debates per motion for 10 minutes.
Excellent. Do you have to say both of those items that you'll be changing when you do a limit or extend the limits of debate?
You don't have to, but I didn't in that case.
Excellent. So it's implied to the chair?
Yes,
You
yes
knew
it
was
is.
going. Cool.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you.
At one point, Mr. Chair, you asked if there was any debate on a main motion and then if there were any amendments. Can you explain why you used that wording when other secondary motions would also be in order at that time?
If I remember right, the one it was one that was not debatable. That was simply an error on my part, and I made sure to stop and say excuse me, and then went straight to the ask for amendments because that motion is amendable, but it was not debatable. Does that answer your question, or am I thinking of a different one?
I think you're thinking of a different motion. There was a main motion where you asked for debate, there didn't appear to be any, and then you asked for amendments before proceeding to take the vote. Other secondary motions would have been in order at that time, so is there a reason you asked specifically for amendments on that main motion?
Yes, usually if the secondary motions, those are just left to the members. I'm not usually, I for sure can ask for those, but there is no reason to do that. Amendments are kind of they will change, not the meaning of the motion, but we consider that kind of at the top of the list of important things that the chair should make sure that the Assembly has taken into consideration.
Nice. Could you describe the difference between postpone indefinitely and postpone definitely?
Postpone definitely postpones the motion to a certain time. Postpone indefinitely kills the motion for this session.
Excellent. So 3 of you were against the main motion, and then the postpone indefinitely still failed, and then we went back to the main motion to fail? How come you didn't fail it during that indefinitely?
I believe we didn't fail it because we wanted to debate on it more, hear our members' opinions on it more, and maybe we could change each other's minds.
Thank you.
If some of you in the auditorium here cannot be quiet, then we're going to ask you to go outside. There's way too much noise going on in here. Advisors, you need to help out. We got a lot of people moving throughout the presentations, which is not the best. And I look around and there's a lot of advisors standing up in the aisleways talking to your students. You need to have a little respect for what's going on the stage. And again, if you cannot be quiet, you need to leave the auditorium, go outside. It quit snowing, so you should be good out there. So again, let's have a little respect for what's going on the stage.
Check. 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 Check.
Okay, thank you very much.
Do your best. We got this.
Broadwater, congratulations on being here today. How are we feeling? Good, awesome. It's a huge accomplishment to be at this point at the state level in the final round of Parley Pro, so congrats. We're going to run a great meeting today. We're going to start with a minute so y'all can look at your cards. We'll run the meeting. I will be the one asking you your questions based off of your assigned motion, and then my fellow judges will ask you any clarifying questions. With that, let's remember to speak into the microphone so we can hear your awesome debates. And with that, do we have any questions? Awesome. Your 1 minute timer starts now.
Do we have any further business which should properly come before this meeting?
Madam President,
Caitlin?
I move that our chapter establish a mentorship program pairing upperclassmen with first-year FFA members.
Do we have a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded that our chapter establish a mentorship program preparing upperclassmen with first-year FFA members. Caitlin is the maker of this motion. Would you like first right to debate?
Yes. I believe that this mentorship program, I stand in favor of this mentorship program as I feel that by taking the opportunity to do this, we will create a foundation of our FFA members that will bring up those younger classmen and bring them up to where we stand today, such as up to our officers and to those who maybe want to be a state officer one day. By mentoring those younger classmen, we are going to bring up those leaders. So I hope that the Assembly would vote with me and vote yes.
Madam President. Cheyenne.
I am highly against this motion. As for looking at the attendance of our upperclassmen, we have very few to pair with our underclassmen. Therefore, you should vote against this motion.
Madam President.
Emma.
I am also against this motion. I believe that right now all our upperclassmen members are super busy with all their responsibilities and they don't have time to be in a mentorship program, so please vote with me and vote against this motion.
Madam President.
Abby.
I am in strong favor of this motion as our younger members don't quite know what they're doing yet, and if we have older members that are guiding them, our chapter will be staying strong and a very active chapter. I hope the Assembly will vote with me and vote yes.
Madam President.
Lexi.
I rise in favor of this motion. I think that this is a great opportunity for our members to get more involved with younger students and to, as has already been mentioned, raise leaders that will make a great impact for the future of FFA. So I urge the Assembly to vote with me and vote yes.
Madam President.
Caitlin.
I move previous question.
Previous question has been called for. All in favor of adopting the previous question, please rise. All opposed, please rise. With a 2/3 vote, the motion is adopted. We will now move to a vote. All in favor of our chapter establishing a mentorship program preparing upperclassmen with first-year FFA members, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No.
Motion passes, voice vote.
Division.
Division has been called for. All in favor of having this mentorship program, please rise. All opposed, please rise. Motion passes with a rising vote. Do we have any further business?
Madam President.
Caitlin.
I move that our chapter purchase a cheese machine to help with our concessions.
Do we have a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that our chapter purchase a cheese machine to help with our concessions. Do we have any debate?
Madam President,
Lexi.
I call for the orders of the day.
The orders of the day have been called for. All in favor of conforming to our agenda, please rise. All opposed, please rise. Lacking a 2/3 vote in the negative, we will conform to our agenda of purchasing a thermal imaging drone. Do we have a motion for that?
Madam President,
Abby.
I move that the chapter purchases a thermal imaging drone and mapping software for members' use in SAE crop and livestock monitoring at the cost of $3,200.
Do we have a second? It's been moved and seconded that our chapter purchases a thermal imaging drone and mapping software for members' use in SAE crop and livestock monitoring at a cost of $3,200. Abby, as the maker of the motion, would you like first right to debate?
Yes. I think that getting a thermal imaging drone would be a wonderful idea for our chapter. It will open many doors for our members to have new experiences and take their SAEs to the next level. I hope the Assembly will vote with me and vote yes on this motion.
Madam President,
Lexi.
I rise in favor of this motion. Many of our FFA members have SAEs that involve livestock and crops, and having such a software would make it much easier for them to complete their SAEs successfully. So I urge the Assembly to vote with me and vote yes.
Madam President,
Caitlin.
I rise in favor of this motion. I feel that not only is this a great idea, but also one of our members in our chapter, Aiden Kiddo, is actually learning how to do this how to run one of these thermal imaging drones with our IT guy at the school. So I think this would be a great opportunity and maybe even potentially an SAE project for him. I hope the Assembly would vote with me and vote yes.
Madam President,
Cheyenne.
I am highly against this motion. As for looking at our financial stance, we cannot afford this at the moment. Therefore, you should vote against this motion.
Madam President,
Emma.
I am also highly against this motion. As previously stated, yes, there are members who are in SEs with this, but most of those are upperclassmen who are graduating, and this wouldn't benefit many people afterwards. So please vote with me and vote no on this motion.
Madam President,
Caitlin.
again, I rise in favor of this motion, as I feel there are many uses for a drone like this. For example, at our chapter banquet, if we desired, we could create a video showing some of the SAEs that our chapters have, such as maybe some livestock production or operations, maybe some farming, things like that. I think that would be a great opportunity to showcase what our chapter members are doing. Again, I hope the Assembly would vote with me and vote yes.
Madam President,
Cheyenne.
I raise a question of privilege.
State your question.
May we turn the lights down? It's hard to see.
No, you may not. Do we have any further debate?
Madam President,
Abby.
I move to suspend the chapter phone rule so that we can find a cheaper drone.
Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we suspend the rule of phone use in our chapter so we can find a cheaper drone. This is not debatable or amendable, and we will move to a vote. All in favor of suspending the rule of phone use, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion passes, voice vote. Do we have any further debate on our main motion?
Madam President,
Emma.
I move to postpone this motion indefinitely.
Do we have a second?
second.
It's been moved and seconded that we postpone this motion indefinitely. Emma, as the maker of this motion, would you like first right to debate?
I would like to postpone this motion indefinitely, as I believe this isn't even something that is worth discussing. There aren't many uses for this, so please vote with me and vote no.
Madam President,
Caitlin.
I am highly against this postpone indefinitely. I feel that this is a great opportunity we have to help our chapter. If money is a concern, I feel that we could reach out to one of our stakeholders and maybe ask for donations, or maybe in compensation for doing some work for them, they would give us a payment in return to help us pay for this drone. I hope that the Assembly would vote with me and vote no.
Madam President,
Lexi.
I rise in opposition of this postponement. I think that this is too important of an opportunity to be postponing it forever. Instead, if we don't want to focus on it now, maybe we can worry about it at a future time. But I do think it is something that should be considered. So I hope the Assembly will vote with me and vote no.
Madam President,
Abby.
I am in strong opposition to postponing this motion indefinitely. I feel like this is such a good opportunity to help our chapter grow and expand, and giving these kids more of an opportunity to experience the newer versions of agriculture with the drones and new technology. Overall, I think this is a great idea, and I urge the Assembly to help me fail this postpone indefinitely.
Madam President,
Cheyenne.
I am all for this postpone indefinitely. As for this is a motion that we should not be concerning ourselves with so close to end of year. Therefore, you should vote for this motion.
Madam President,
Caitlin.
I rise against this motion. Another thing that I think we could use this drone for is we have a corn maze in our town. Sometimes children can get lost. This thermal imaging drone would help those who are trying to find those lost children and would be a great asset not only to our chapter, but to the community. I hope that the Assembly would vote with me and vote no.
Madam President,
Emma.
I would just like to reiterate my point that I don't think that this is something we should be even discussing, and this postpone indefinitely is a good motion. So please vote with me and vote yes.
Madam President,
Caitlin.
I move to extend the limits of debate to 3 per person.
Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we extend the limits of debate to 3 debates per person. This is not debatable, but it is amendable. Do we have any amendments to this motion? Seeing none, we will move to a vote. All in favor of extending debate on the postponement to 3 debates per person, please rise. All opposed, please rise. Lacking a 2/3 vote, the motion fails. Do we have any further debate on the postponement?
Madam President,
Lexi?
I just want to reiterate my opinion. I think that this is too important of an opportunity to get rid of it now. As has already been mentioned, there are so many benefits to having a thermal imaging drone and mapping software, and I do not think that this should be postponed because it would be so beneficial. So I hope the Assembly will vote with me and vote no.
Do we have any further debate? Seeing none, we will move to a vote. All in favor of postponing this motion indefinitely, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No.
Motion fails, voice vote. Do we have any further debate on our main motion?
Madam President,
Cheyenne.
I would again like to state that I am on the negative side of this motion. As for, again, our financial stance cannot support this. And even if we reached out to our stakeholders, they are already trying to prepare for other things that we have been asking for. Therefore, you should vote against this motion.
Madam President.
Abby.
Once again, I would like to state that I'm in strong favor of this motion as it will open many doors for our chapter.
Do we have any further debate? Seeing none, we will move to a vote. All in favor of purchasing this drone, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No.
Motion passes, voice vote. Do we have any further business which should properly come before this meeting?
Madam President,
Emma.
I move to adjourn this meeting.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor of adjourning this meeting, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Meeting adjourned. Please rise for questioning.
To the maker of Call for the Orders of the Day.
Yes, Madam Questioner.
Name 2 circumstances when a call for the orders of the day is applicable.
When the meeting has gone off of the agenda and they're like talking about things that are not on the agenda. And when the meeting hall is like disruptive and not doing what it's supposed to be.
Thank you. To the maker of Postpone Indefinitely.
Yes, Madam Questioner.
Your question has 2 parts. Part 1, can the motion to postpone indefinitely be reconsidered, and explain your answer?
Yes, it can if it can be reconsidered if there's more debate and they decide that it's something that should be postponed, or if circumstances change in any way.
And your second part to your question is, if a motion to postpone indefinitely is lost, can another motion to postpone indefinitely be made in the same meeting, and explain your answer?
Yes, if any circumstances change or anything.
Thank you. To the maker of Suspend the Rules.
Yes, Madam Questioner.
Name 4 rules of the Assembly that the motion to suspend the rules cannot be applied to.
State laws. federal laws, the chapter bylaws, and anything illegal.
Awesome. To the maker of limit or extend limits of debate.
Yes, Madam Questionnaire.
Your question has two parts. Your first one is, name two subsidiary motions that can be applied to a motion to limit debate.
Commit or refer, and amend.
And your second part is, why can previous question be applied to limit or extend limits of debate if limit or extend limits of debate if it is not debatable?
Could you repeat
Yes.
the question?
Why can previous question be applied to limit or extend limits of debate if limit or extend limits of debate if it is not debatable?
It can be applied because you can make an amendment to the limit or extend limits of debate, so you can call previous question on that discussion.
Thank you. To the maker of division of the assembly.
Yes, Madam Questionnaire.
Your question also has two parts. The first one is, a voice vote is being taken which appears to be close, and a member calls for a division of the assembly as soon as the negative votes are cast. In this division of the assembly in order, and explain your answer.
No, the division in the assembly has to be called after the chair has called the vote.
And your second part is, a rising vote is then taken and the secretary counts and records in the minutes the number of votes on both sides of her own accord. Is this proper? And explain your answer.
May you please repeat that?
A rising vote is then taken and the secretary counts and records in the minutes the number of votes on both sides of her own accord. Is this proper? And explain your answer.
May you please say that one more time?
Yeah. A rising vote is then taken, and the secretary counts and records in the minutes the number of votes on both sides of her own accord. Is this proper? And explain your answer.
No, typically the minutes just calls for how the motion ended.
Thank you. And to the chair.
Yes, Madam Questionnaire.
Your question has two parts. Part one, why should the chair refrain from speaking in debate on most questions?
The chair is supposed to remain impartial when it comes to debate on motions and should only vote if there's a tie.
And your second part is, name two motions on which the presiding officer is not required to relinquish the chair in order to debate.
Appeal and withdraw.
Awesome, thank you. We're going to go into 3 minutes of clarifying questions from your judges.
So the first question that I have, at the beginning of the meeting we had a main motion made which appeared to be under general orders. Later on we had a call for the orders of the day where it was stated that the next motion on the agenda was the one on your card. Was that first main motion in order at the time that it was made?
I believe it was in order, as it is a special order, meaning it should be taken care of first. In the situation we had dealt with the other motion first, that is another situation where the call of the orders of the day could have been called for because the special order needed to have been dealt with first.
Thank you, great job. What was the suspend the rules on today?
Say that again.
What was the suspend the rules on today?
It was on the chapter phone usage.
Excellent. And what vote is required to pass that specific suspend the rules?
A majority vote is required as it is a standing chapter rule.
Excellent. Does the vote ever change on the suspend the rules depending on the severity of that rule you're suspending?
Yes.
What would be some examples?
If they were more serious rules, such as in our chapters, or anyone else want to take that?
If they were more serious, such as something in our chapter bylaws, it would have to be 2/3 with previous notice or something like that.
Thank you.
What information needs to be included in a motion to limit or extend limits of debate?
Say that one more time, sorry.
What information needs to be included in your motion to limit or extend limits of debate?
The number of debates per person per motion, or the amount of time a member can debate each motion.
I've got one that I'm going to direct to the chair. We had a couple of debates from the person closest to you during the postpone indefinitely that seemed to be about the main motion itself. Were those germane to the postpone indefinitely?
Yes, because the postpone indefinitely is the only subsidiary motion that is allowed to go into the details of the main motion.
What would you do if it wasn't germane, in your opinion?
I would call the debate out of order.
Good job.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Check. 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 Check.
Check.
Kalispell, congratulations for being here. How are we doing?
Good.
Awesome. You should be very proud of your team and yourself. This is a huge accomplishment to get to this level of state convention for the finals of Parley Pro. Let's go ahead and run an awesome meeting today. We'll have a minute to look at our cards. You'll run your meeting. I will be asking you questions based off of your assigned emotion, and then I'll hand it to my judges to deliver any clarifying questions from anyone. With that, let's remember to speak into the microphone so we can hear your awesome debates. And with that, is there any questions from you guys?
Nope.
Awesome. Your 1 minute timer starts now.
Is there any new business?
Madam President,
Shailene.
I move that our chapter purchases a thermal imaging drone and mapping software for the member use in the SAE crop and livestock monitoring at a cost of $3,200.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the chapter purchases a thermal imaging drone and mapping software for a member use in SAE crop and livestock monitoring at costs of $3,200. Is there any debate?
Madam President,
Shailene.
I'm strongly for this motion as the Kalispell FFA is a national award recipient for the 83rd time since 1982. This is an excellent activity to add to our program of activities. I urge the Assembly to vote yes on this motion.
Madam President,
Emily.
I think that this would be a great idea to purchase this drone for crop and livestock, especially because we have such a big agricultural center. I think it would be very beneficial for us to be able to see what the cows and animals and how our crops are doing year round. Please vote yes on this motion.
Madam President,
Avery.
I rise in opposition against this motion because as of right now, we have a lot of members going to our Ag Center, and we do not know who is going to be participating in this SAE, which could make it even more expensive. Please vote no for this motion.
Madam President,
Katie.
I encourage the Assembly to vote this motion down. Seeing as our hog raffle and our barley yield was down this year, we simply do not have $3,000 to spend on this. Please vote no.
Madam President,
Ellie.
I think that this motion is a wonderful idea. Seeing as how we, at our banquet every year, we donate lots of scholarships towards kids with SAEs. I think this would be a great one to add. Please join me in voting yes on this motion.
Madam President,
Avery.
I move that we refer this motion to committee appointed by you to report back at our next meeting.
And how many would you like on your committee?
3 members.
Is there a second? It has been moved and seconded that we refer this to a committee of 3 appointed by the chair to meet back at our next regularly scheduled meeting. Is there any debate?
Madam President,
Avery.
I think that this committee would greatly benefit us. That way we could discuss our options without limit on debate and who would like to be a part of this SAE. Please vote yes for this referral.
Madam President,
Shailene.
I'm strongly against this postponement as procrastination will lead us nowhere.
I'm sorry, but this is a referral.
I'm strongly against this referral as procrastination will lead us nowhere. I urge the Assembly to vote no on this referral.
Madam President,
Emily.
I am against this referral because we have students from both Glacier and Flathead who would have to travel out to our Ag Center to be a part of this committee. With gas prices being so high right now, I do not think that they can afford to drive out to the Ag Center multiple times a day. I urge the Assembly to vote no on this referral.
Madam President,
Katie.
I I rise in opposition of this referral. Referring this to a committee is not going to be beneficial. We have so many things we need to decide, and this is not going to help. So please vote no on this referral.
Madam President,
Ellie.
I stand against this referral. Seeing as how we have two high schools that come out to our Ag Center, if most of the committee is part of Flathead, we risk alienating Glacier. Please join me in voting no on this referral.
Is there any further debate?
Madam President,
Emily.
I call for the orders of the day.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to call that out of order. I apologize. That is my bad. All those in favor of conforming to the orders of the day pertaining to our chapter establishing a membership program pairing up upperclassmen with first-year FFA members. This requires a 2/3 vote to the no to not conform to the orders of the day. All those in favor of conforming to the orders of the day, please rise. Thank you. Be seated. All those opposed, please rise. Thank you. Be seated. With 1 in the affirmative and 4 in the negative, the noes have it, and we will not conform to the orders of the day. Would you like to continue your debate on the referral? Seeing no more debate on the referral, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor of referring this to a committee of 3 appointed by the chair to meet back at our next regularly scheduled meeting, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
The noes have it, and the motion is lost. We will not refer this to a committee of 3 appointed by the chair. Is there any further debate?
Madam President,
Ellie.
I move that we suspend the standing chapter rule of no cell phone use during a meeting to call our treasurer Lance Fritz to see if we have the available budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we suspend the standing chapter rule that prohibits cell phone use as to call our treasurer Lance Fritz, as he would have valuable information. Although, since this is a standing chapter rule, it requires a majority vote to pass. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
The noes have it, and the motion is lost. We will not suspend the standing chapter rule. Is there any further debate?
Madam President,
Shailene.
I move that we limit each debate to 5 minutes per person.
It has been moved and seconded that we limit debate to 5 minutes per person. This requires a 2/3 vote to pass. All those in favor of limiting debate to 5 minutes per person, please rise. Thank you. Be seated. All those opposed, please rise. With less than 2/3 in the affirmative, the noes have it, and the motion is lost. We will not limit debate. Is there any further debate?
Madam President,
Emily.
I move that we postpone this to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
Sirs, it has been moved and seconded that we postpone this motion to our next regularly scheduled meeting. Is there any debate?
Madam President,
Emily.
I think that this would be very beneficial for us to postpone this to our next regularly scheduled meeting because we do not have a lot of our members here right now. So by having this postponed to our next regularly scheduled meeting, it'd be able for them to get their input on this main motion. Please vote yes to this postponement.
Madam President,
Shailene.
I'm strongly for this postponement as this gives us time to talk to our Ag students at our Ag Center and get their input on if they think this is a good idea or not. I urge you all to vote yes on this postponement.
Madam President,
Avery.
I'm struggling against this postponement because as of right now, we have elections next meeting and it's a sliding slate, so we will not have time for this in our next meeting. Please vote no for this postponement.
Madam President,
Katie.
I rise in opposition of this postponement. Postponing this to our next meeting is not going to be beneficial. We do not have enough time, including things like officer elections and other things like that. So please vote no for this postponement.
Madam President,
Ellie.
I wish to speak against this postponement. Seeing as how we have a very busy agenda and multiple things to take up, including officer elections, we simply do not have the time for this postponement. Please join me in voting no on this postponement.
Is there any further debate? Seeing none, we will now vote. All those in favor of postponing this motion to our next regularly scheduled meeting say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
The noes have it, and the motion is lost. We will not postpone this motion to our next regularly scheduled meeting. Is there any further debate? Please state your question.
May we dim the lights? It's bright in here.
No, we may not. Is there any further debate?
Madam President, I move that we postpone this motion indefinitely.
It has been moved and seconded that we postpone this motion indefinitely. Is there any debate?
Madam President,
Katie.
I made this motion because seeing as our barley crop has not done well this year, and we have so many other things that we're doing as an agriculture center, we do not have time to even discuss this main motion. So please vote it down.
Madam President,
Emily.
I am against this postponement because we need this for our Ag Center because I think it would be very beneficial for students with their SAE projects and crop and livestock products. So please vote no on this postponement.
Madam President.
Shailene.
I'm strongly against this postponement, as this gives our ACT students opportunities with their SAE project to experience something that they might not have been able to. I urge the Assembly to vote no on this postponement.
Madam President.
Avery.
I rise in favor of this postponement because as of right now, we have a lot of teams going to state, and we had to pull money from unnecessary places to get our teams to be able to go. Please vote no for this postponement, or yes for this postponement.
Madam President.
Ellie.
I wish to speak against this postponement. Seeing as our reporter Harley Hansen could use this as a good photo opportunity, I think it would be very beneficial to vote this postponement down. Please join me in voting no on this postponement.
Is there any further debate? Seeing none, we will now vote. All those in favor of postponing this motion indefinitely say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No. Division.
A division has been called. All those in favor of postponing this motion indefinitely, please rise. Thank you, be seated. All those opposed, please rise. Thank you, be seated. With 2 in the affirmative and 3 in the negative, the noes have it and the motion is lost. We will not postpone this motion indefinitely. Is there any further debate? Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor of the chapter purchasing a thermal imaging drone and mapping software for members to use in SAE crop and livestock, monitoring at a cost of $3,200, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
The ayes have it and the motion is passed. Is there any new business? Katie.
Madam President,
Katie.
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adjourn this meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. With the unanimous vote of ayes, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. Meeting adjourned. Will members please rise for questioning?
To the maker of Call for the Orders of the Day. Your question is, name 2 circumstances when a call for the orders of the day is applicable.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yes. Name 2 circumstances when a call for the orders of the day is applicable.
When you need to get to another main motion, and you have new business.
Thank you. To the maker of Postpone Indefinitely.
Yes, ma'am.
Your question has 2 parts. Your first one is, can the motion to postpone indefinitely be reconsidered? And explain your answer.
May you please restate that?
Yes. Can the motion to postpone indefinitely be reconsidered? And explain your answer.
No, this motion may not be reconsidered because it is killing the main motion.
Awesome. And your second part is, if a motion to postpone indefinitely is lost, can another motion to postpone indefinitely be made in the same meeting? Explain your answer.
May you please restate that?
Yes. If a motion to postpone indefinitely is lost, can another motion to postpone indefinitely be made in the same meeting? Explain your answer.
Yes, and may be reconsidered. As long as it gets a vote.
Thank you. To the maker of Suspend the Rules. Name 4 rules of the assembly that the motion to suspend the rules cannot be applied to.
Bylaws. Can you restate the question, please?
Yes. Name 4 rules of the assembly that the motion to suspend the rules cannot be applied to.
Bylaws. Rules pertaining to a member's rights. Parliamentary authority and I'm not sure.
Thank you. To the maker of limit or extend limits of debate.
Yes, ma'am.
Your question has 2 parts. Your first one is, name 2 subsidiary motions that can be applied to a motion to limit debate.
Amend in previous question.
And your second part to your question is, why can previous question be applied to limit or extend limits of debate if limit or extend limits of debate if it is not debatable?
To block all amendments and skip to voting.
Thank you. To the maker of division of the assembly.
Yes, ma'am.
Your question also has 2 parts. The first one is, a voice vote is being taken which appears to be close, and a member calls for a division of the assembly as soon as the negative votes are cast. Is this division of the assembly in order? And explain your answer.
Yes, because the member can make a division when the vote is cast to when debate starts.
Awesome. And your second question is, a rising vote is then taken and the secretary counts and records in the minutes the number of votes on both sides of her own accord. Is this proper? And explain your answer.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the
You
question?
bet. A rising vote is then taken and the secretary counts and records in the minutes the number of votes on both sides of her own accord. Is this proper? And explain your answer.
I'm sorry, can you repeat
You're
that
good.
one more time?
Yes. A rising vote is then taken and the secretary counts and records in the minutes the number of votes on both sides of her own accord. Is this proper? And explain your answer.
Yes, because they had to recount the vote, so that was the final vote.
Thank you. And to the chair, you also have 2 questions or 2 parts to your question. Your first one is, why should the chair refrain from speaking in debate on most questions?
To remain impartial and non-biased.
And your second question is, name 2 motions on which the presiding officer is not required to relinquish the chair in order to debate.
Appeal and point of order.
Awesome. Thanks, girls. We will go into the 3 minutes of clarifying questions from your judges, and anyone can answer.
All right, I'll go first. Where's your treasurer?
Our treasurer, Lance Fritz, is here with us, but he is not in the hall right now, so we would have called him as to get our valuable information that we needed on the budget.
with that noted, did you have a quorum today?
Can you repeat that question, please?
Yeah. If you're missing just one member, he's out and about, would he still be counted in that quorum? And did you meet the quorum today in your chapter?
I think we still would have met that quorum and we would have had another person step up to be treasurer, but as he took his notes with him, then we wouldn't have known for sure what our budget was.
And would someone define what a quorum is and then tell me where it would be listed in like what document?
A quorum is the amount of people that need to be there for business to
And it's
be
found
executed, and
It's found in the bylaws.
Excellent.
When making a motion to refer something to a committee, what kind of information needs to be provided for clarity to the assembly?
when, where, how many, and
The appointing power.
yes.
As you probably know, the normal limits of debate are 2 debates per person per motion for up to 10 minutes each. With the wording of the motion to limit debate in this case being 5 minutes per person, would that have applied to each debate or total amount per person?
I believe it would have been total amount per person since the number of debates was not specified.
There were a couple of times during the meeting where a motion with a 2/3 vote requirement was taken as a rising vote. And as the chairperson, you announced what the count of the vote was. Is that proper according to Robert's rules?
Not necessarily, but I do it because it helps me make sure that it's actually a 2/3 vote and that I'm not just accidentally doing my math wrong.
Is the motion to extend or limit debate amendable?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ask for amendments on the motion to limit debate?
No, I did not.
Okay. So then I'll direct this to any of the floor members. If you had wanted to amend limit debate, what would have been the procedure in that case?
We would have called a point of order and asked for an amendment.
Excellent. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Which way? Which way?
This way.
Guys, guys.
Check.
Check.
Check. Check.
Check.
Check.
Belgrade, how are we doing this morning?
Excellent.
Awesome. Good answer. Well, congratulations for being here today. This is a huge accomplishment of being here at this state convention and the final round of Parley Pro. Let's go ahead and run an awesome meeting today. You'll have 1 minute to look at your cards. We're going to run a meeting, and then I will ask you all your questions for the motion you were assigned, and then I'll pass it to my judges to ask any clarifying questions per usual. Just a reminder, let's talk really closely into the microphone so we can hear your debates. And with that, are there any questions?
Don't think so.
Awesome. Your 1 minute starts now.
Is there any new business?
Mr. Chair,
Everett.
I move that the chapter purchases a thermal imaging drone and mapping software for member use in SAE crop and livestock monitoring at a cost of $3,200.
It has been moved and seconded that the chapter purchase a thermal imaging drone and mapping software for member use in SAE crop and livestock monitoring at a cost of $3,200. Everett, as maker of the motion, you have first right to debate.
Thank you. We cannot pass this motion as our chapter is very low on funds with sending some of our members to nationals for some of our competitions and taking us all here to state. So please vote in the negative.
Mr. Chair.
Matt.
I think this is a great idea to pass this motion. Seeing as we just got our school farm up and running, being able to go out there and map it and get everything ready for all the other companies to come out and look at would be a phenomenal idea. Please stand with me in passing this motion.
Thank you. Call for order of the day has been made. At a previous meeting, the motion that the chapter establish a mentorship program pairing upperclassmen and first-year FFA members was postponed and made a special order. All those in favor with following with that motion, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say no. No. The noes have it. We will not be following with that special order. We are now back to debate on the main motion.
Mr. Chair.
Katie.
We cannot pass this motion. Our SAE projects in our chapter are absolutely phenomenal. This is not a huge thing. We all have our own thing that we already have going on, and we cannot focus on spending $3,200 just on something for SAEs. Please fail this motion.
Mr. Chair.
Mackenzie.
This is a wonderful motion. With drone technology being so important in today's agriculture, our chapter would benefit greatly from learning how to use these drones and being able to get out in that environment.
Mr. Chair.
Matt.
After further thought, we cannot pass this motion. After everything we've had, we need to keep our money so we can spend it in other areas. We don't have enough members that show up and put in the time at fundraisers, so why would we help out and fundraise for them? Please fail this motion.
I rise to a question of privilege.
State your question.
Can we dim the lights? It's hurting my head.
No, you may not.
I rise to a point of information.
State your point.
How much will we be purchasing with the drones? How many drones will we be purchasing?
We will be purchasing one drone with all the accessories included for that price.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Everett.
The chapter cannot pass this motion as we do not have any livestock to be monitoring with this, and it will not provide a lot of educational value towards the chapter and our students. So please vote in the negative.
Mr. Chair.
Colleen.
I move to suspend the current standing rule that we cannot use our phones during chapter meetings.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to suspend the chapter standing rule that we cannot use cell phones during meetings. All those in favor of suspending the rule, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say no. The noes have it. We will not be suspending the rule. We are now back to debate on the main motion.
Mr. Chair.
Katie.
We have too much going on with our school farm currently. We need to focus on planting those crops and focusing on all of that. And we are also going to nationals this year, and we need to focus on that. Our SAE projects at the moment are good enough, and we do not need to focus on this. Please fail this motion.
Mr. Chair.
Colleen.
This is a terrible idea. Considering the fact that we are only going to get one drone for the cost of $3,000 and $200, this is a terrible idea, as it's not worth our money or our time in order purchase-wise. That is why we should fail this.
Mr. Chair.
Mackenzie.
I move to refer this to a special committee of 3, chair appointed by the chair with the power to report back.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to refer this to a special committee of 3 appointed by the chair appointed by the chair with the power to report back. Mackenzie has made her the referral. Your first right to debate.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Seeing as this is something that is a big cost and something that needs a lot of planning, I believe that we need to refer this because we need more time and more information. So pass this referral.
Mr. Chair.
Everett.
I move to limit debate to 1 debate per person per motion.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to limit debate to 1 debate per person per motion. All those in favor of limiting debate, please rise. Thank you. Be seated. All those opposed, please rise. Thank you. Be seated. With 1 in the affirmative and 4 in the negative, motion fails. We are now back to debate on the referral.
Mr. Chair.
Katie.
We absolutely cannot pass this referral, seeing as we already have a group of members figuring out when we're working on SAE/AET projects. This is something that we cannot push aside, and we need to decide now whether or not we are going to focus another group on SAE projects. Please fail this referral.
Mr. Chair.
Colleen.
This referral is a terrible idea. Considering the fact that it is chapter funds, the entire chapter should be able to have their voice heard on this matter. We need to fail this referral.
Mr. Chair.
Matt.
Referring this is an awful idea. We need to fail the referral and get it done with now. There's no point in letting another committee deal with the expenses of $3,200. We need to get this done now.
Mr. Chair.
Everett.
I am in strong favor of this referral as it can bring more information to us about the drone that we will be purchasing and maybe change some minds on it. So please vote in the positive.
Is there any further debate? Debate. Seeing none, we shall now proceed to a vote. All those in favor of referring this motion to a special committee of 3, please say aye. All opposed, please say no. Division of the assembly has been called for. All those in favor, please rise. Thank you. Be seated. All opposed, please rise. Thank you. Be seated. The noes have it. We will not be referring this motion. We are now back to debate on the main motion.
Mr. Chair.
Matt.
I move for a 5-minute recess to discuss information informally.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to take a 5-minute recess to discuss things informally. Are there any amendments? Seeing none, we shall now proceed to a vote. All those in favor of taking a 5-minute recess, please say aye. All opposed, please say no. The noes have it. We will not be taking a recess. We are now back to debate on the main motion.
Mr. Chair.
Matt.
I move to postpone this motion indefinitely to our next regularly scheduled meeting at 6 a.m. in Mr. Gavin's room.
It has been moved and seconded to postpone this motion indefinitely. Matt has made her the postponement. You have first right to debate.
Thank you. I think this is an awful idea. There's no sense in us keep talking about it. We just need to get rid of it. Please pass this postponement.
Mr. Chair.
Mackenzie.
We cannot postpone this motion. This is something that we need to pass. It's very important that we pass this motion for our chapter because of the agricultural education opportunities. So do not pass this postponement.
Mr.
Rise to a
Chair.
parliamentary inquiry.
State your question.
Is this motion reconsiderable?
It is.
Mr. Chair.
Katie.
We need to pass this postponement, seeing as looking at our POA, we have too much going on. Also, our next chapter is rounding out the year. We have too much going on the agenda currently, or there is no reason to talk about this again. Please pass this in postponement.
Mr. Chair.
Colleen.
This postponement is a terrible idea. Considering the fact that this is a chapter-wide thing, we need to have all voices heard on this, as well as the fact that we can kill it easily if we do not want the motion. We have no reason to postpone.
Mr. Chair.
Mackenzie.
Postponing this motion would mean killing the motion, and this is a motion that our chapter needs to have. Not only will we benefit from the agricultural opportunities, but we could even use it as a fundraiser and other things that would benefit our chapter. Do not pass this postponement.
Mr. Chair.
Everett.
I am strongly against postponing this, as I believe that with the people we have here, we could come to a satisfying conclusion about the motion. So please vote in the negative.
Debate. Debate. Seeing none, we shall now proceed to a vote. All those in favor of postponing this motion indefinitely, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say no. No. The noes have it. We will not be postponing this motion. We are now back to debate on the main motion. Is there any further debate? Debate. Seeing none, we shall now proceed to a vote. All those in favor that the chapter purchase a thermal imaging drone and mapping software for member use in SAE crops and livestock monitoring at a cost of $3,200, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say no. No. The noes have it. We will not be purchasing the drone. Is there any new business? Seeing none, meeting adjourned. Please rise for questions from the judges.
To the maker of call for the orders of the day.
Yes, ma'am.
Name 2 circumstances when a call for the orders of the day is applicable.
Can you please restate that?
Yes. Name 2 circumstances when a call for the orders of the day is applicable.
2 circumstances when call for orders of the day is applicable is when there has been previous going-ons of the previous meeting that you want to bring back up at the current meeting, or when something has been laid on the table.
Thank you. To the maker of postpone indefinitely.
Yes, ma'am.
Your question has 2 parts. Can the motion to postpone indefinitely be reconsidered, and explain your answer?
The motion to postpone indefinitely cannot be reconsidered. The motion postpone indefinitely means to get rid of it entirely.
And your second part is, if a motion to postpone indefinitely is lost, can another motion to postpone indefinitely be made in the same meeting? Explain your answer.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. If a motion to postpone indefinitely is lost, can another motion to postpone indefinitely be made in the same meeting? Explain your answer.
Yes, because if it had got on to debate and we figured out that it's not something we're actually going to be able to want to talk about in the future, someone else is able to make postpone indefinitely.
Thank you. To the maker of suspend the rules.
Yes, ma'am.
Name 4 rules of the assembly that the motion to suspend the rules cannot be applied to.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. Name 4 rules of the assembly that the motion to suspend the rules cannot be applied to.
Chapter bylaws, parliamentary procedure, rules that affect your personal rights, and one moment. And those that change the chapter's bylaws.
Thank you. To the maker of limit or extend limits of debate.
Yes, ma'am.
Your question has 2 parts. Name 2 subsidiary motions that can be applied to a motion to limit debate.
Can you repeat that?
Yes. Name 2 subsidiary motions that can be applied to a motion to limit debate.
Can you repeat that one more time, please?
Yes. Name 2 subsidiary motions that can be applied to a motion to limit debate.
Two subsidiary motions that can be applied to limit or extend debate. Okay. postpone indefinitely.
Awesome. And your second question is, why can previous question be applied to limit or extend limits of debate if limit or extend limits of debate if it is not debatable?
It is simply just moving the previous question to get to voting sooner.
Thank you. To the maker of Division of the Assembly.
Yes, ma'am.
Your question has two parts. Your first one is, a voice vote is being taken, which appears to be close, and a member calls for a division of the assembly as soon as the negative votes are cast. Is this division of the assembly in order? And explain your answer.
Yes, this division of the assembly is in order because you have up until the chair states which side won.
Awesome. And your second part is, a rising vote is then taken, and the secretary counts and records in the minutes the number of votes on both sides of her own accord. Is this proper? And explain your answer.
If it wasn't called for to take a counted vote, it wasn't required, but I don't believe it was improper to record the number of in favor and not in favor.
Thank you. To the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
You have two parts. Your first one is, why should the chair refrain from speaking in debate on most questions?
The chair is supposed to act as an impartial overseer to the debate, and if they were to speak their opinion on it, it could potentially cause bias in their ruling.
Awesome. And your second part is, name two motions on which the presiding officer is not required to relinquish the chair in order to debate.
Motions that would bring back a question before the assembly, such as reconsider or rescind, as the motion was already made and therefore they cannot introduce any new opinion into it.
Awesome, thank you. Let's go ahead and shift our attention to clarifying questions from your judges.
All right, I will start with the maker of the main motion. You used your preference and recognition as the maker of the motion to immediately tell the assembly that it was a bad idea. Can you maybe explain your rationale for that?
As I was making the motion, I started to think about it more, and I decided that I was not in favor of it, as I was when I stood up to make the motion.
Can you tell me the difference, anyone, between postpone definitely and postpone indefinitely?
Postpone definitely means you're pushing it back to a specific place, time to re-bring it up. Postpone indefinitely gets rid of it forever as soon as that passes.
Excellent. I wrote down that we're postponing this indefinitely to 6 a.m. in Mr. Gavin's room. Are we killing the motion, or are we talking about it later?
We are still killing the motion. I think it was just a slight mix-up, but it was in fact for killing the motion.
Thank you.
Anyone can answer, but this kind of directed back at that first main motion with the debates. Was there another parliamentary function that you could have employed other than just debating against the motion you made?
He could have withdrawn it, but if he still wanted to hear what everyone else's opinions were, there would be no reason to withdraw it.
For the maker of the suspend the rules, what was the purpose of wanting to be able to use our cell phones in the meeting?
I believe that I could have used my cell phone to gather more information specifically about what type of drone and what use it could have, so that's why I would suspend the rules.
We could have also taken a poll on who is looking for an SAE or what new members were looking for an SAE. There was multiple reasons why we could have used a telephone in that manner.
What happens to your motion that had been postponed at the previous meeting since we didn't take it up before we adjourned?
We decided that the business at hand was more urgent than that postponed matter. However, we will reconsider it at the next regularly scheduled meeting, as it is still postponed. It hasn't been lost until the next quarterly meeting or whenever the bylaws dictate that that motion is to be lost.
Good job.